Welcome to Tea, Tales, and Talks, where we talk about spooky things, drink some tea, and try not to get too scared. I'm Sarah, I'll be your host.
And I'm Mackenzie, I'll be your co-host.
For these strange and occasionally unsettling tales.
If you like spooky stuff, history, ghosts, ghouls, witches, and mysteries of this world and others, then Tea, Tales, and Talks might be the podcast for you. Join us for all the paranormal tea, haunted tales, and spooky talks. New episodes drop every Monday wherever you get your podcasts.
Until we meet again, our twitchy witchy friends, stay spooky and
don't let your tea get cold.
Canadian Creepies is recorded on the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, under the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. These lands and waters have been cared for since long before Canada existed, and they remain deeply important to Indigenous communities today. As we tell stories about darkness, injustice, and memory, I want to acknowledge the very real histories of colonization, violence, and erasure that Indigenous peoples continue to endure. A land acknowledgement can't undo that harm, but it is a reminder to keep listening, learning, and supporting in truth and reconciliation in meaningful ways. We share these stories not to forget, but to shine light, always with respect for peoples and nations whose land we live on. Canadian Creepies covers true crime, dark history, and disturbing events. Some episodes may include graphic descriptions or sensitive subject matter. We do our best to handle every story with care and respect for those affected. That said, we sometimes use humor and sarcasm as a way to process heavy content, never to disrespect victims, survivors, or their families. Listener discretion is advised. This episode discusses serious violent crime, incarceration, and the criminal justice system's use of indeterminate sentencing. Listener discretion is advised. This episode examines a serious violent crime committed in Canada, the use of the dangerous offender designation under Canadian law, and how the justice system has responded to young women with histories of trauma, particularly within federal corrections. This episode does not excuse violence or diminish the harm caused by serious crimes, and it focuses on how understanding how punishment, prevention, and care intersect in cases. I really had to burp there. Okay,
you
sorry.
sound like me when I'm reading.
I know. Let's go back. It focuses on understanding how punishment, prevention, and care intersect in cases involving extreme violence, legal risk assessments, and mental health considerations. Hey, welcome to Canadian Creepies. I'm Valerie.
And I'm Amanda Joy. Welcome back.
We're happy you're listening. We're happy you're here. We're happy to be bringing you another week. I put some notes here with some things I wanted to talk about quickly in the intro.
I dig it.
The first thing I wrote was security guard madness. Now, I can't get too into detail with that for anyone's sake. But I want to read something for anyone, at least in Ontario. And you can Google this for your own provinces or states. But for Ontario listeners, just want everyone to know that in Ontario, security guards, including, I can't say that part because I would give it away. In Ontario, security guards may only use force when absolutely necessary, after exhausting de-escalation as per the Private Security and Investigative Services Act, and can face public complaints to the Ministry of the Solicitor General for excessive force, which is a breach of conduct. If you witness or experience excessive force by a security guard, you can file a formal complaint with the ministry for review, as guards are trained to use minimum force necessary, with videos and witness accounts often crucial evidence.
Ooh.
That's all I want to say about that.
Ooh.
So,
are we going to go into something later?
No. I will tell you something off mic later, but
Val has notes on her screen that I don't have on mine.
yeah, you do.
Do I?
Yeah.
I skipped ahead to the next, getting ready for you to read the next part. So
the next thing I wanted to discuss is the TV show The Sanctuary, A Witch's Tale.
Ooh.
The first season is on Crave. The second season, AMC+.
I think Shudder has it as well.
Shudder has it too.
Shudder, yeah.
But Sanctuary, really good. Really loving it. Lastly, I'm reading my third book of the year already. And I am veering off. Well, so right now I'm listening. So I'm finally at the book Practical Magic in the series.
Okay.
Library,
I love that book.
Library didn't have it.
Oh.
Crazy. So I think I'm going to buy it and donate it to the library because,
I own it. You can borrow it.
well, I'm listening to the audiobook.
Yeah. I love me an audiobook.
Yeah.
I'm listening to an audiobook right now.
What one are you listening to?
I am listening. It's a really, viewer discretion is advised for this one because I listen to all sorts of really horrific, horrible horror stories that have very descriptive graphic scenes. But this one is called You Weren't Meant to Be Human.
Okay. And is it fiction or nonfiction?
It is fiction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So it's like a horror.
It's
fiction.
a horror, yeah.
Cool.
It's like a dystopian future where this
Very
trans
cool.
man is pregnant by this hive of bugs that like
my
protects them
Yeah.
and like keeps them kind of safe. And like if you are part of the hive, people like try and like kill you, and like, but if you run away from the hive will send people to try and kill you.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
yeah. So he's like pregnant with what he's calling a larva.
A larva.
But
My lord.
based off of the title, I'm assuming that it turns out to be human. So,
Hopefully.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's a twisted book from what I've heard, but I'm into that kind of stuff.
You love
horror,
it.
horror movies.
You love
that's
it. You're
mine
the
and,
horror gal.
That's mine and John's jam. We literally sit there, like he's probably home right now watching like Ghost Pirate and like these other people that he follows to find out what up and coming horror movies are to put on our list, which is like
Right.
over 100 horror movies that we need to get through.
Gotta have a list.
I love me a list.
I love me a list. The book I'm reading is called The Witches of New York,
Ooh.
but it is written by a Canadian author,
Oh, twisty twist.
Amy McKay, and it was written in the 70s.
Ooh.
So
So it has
I'm
the
reading that.
Whimsigoth vibe.
It's got the Whimsigoth vibe. I'm really channeling that like energy.
I did see your story with the vest.
Oh yeah, I wore the vest yesterday. I layered yesterday. I did long skirt, thrifted, Laura Petite, the brand.
Yep.
Thrifted, crushed velvet.
That is so you.
Yes, and then I did like a long gray shirt with like bell sleeves, and then the vest.
The vest was very cool.
Thank you. Kyle
Yeah.
got me that vest like the first year we were together.
Really? That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's funny that you were wearing something that Kyle got you. And today
Always.
I'm wearing something that John got me.
you. Yeah.
We're so in sync.
Okay. So today we are. Should we get into it?
Yeah,
Is there anything
let's
else you
jump
want to
right
talk about?
No, I just like to read.
Shout out to the Spooky Pod Squad as well.
Ooh, yeah.
I always have an ad for the Creators Collective in there, but I just want to shout out any ad you hear at the beginning of our episodes is a member of the Creators Collective,
Which we are a part of, both of us.
both of us, together and separately.
Yes.
And there's going to be lots coming up, like collabs and stuff.
I'm very excited about those.
Yeah, I'm easing into collaborations because I get overwhelmed quick and I don't want to burn out.
Yeah.
If I burn out,
I feel like that has happened with quite a few, not saying our members of our group, but there have been a few people on like Instagram that I've noticed that have, especially with the holidays that just happened.
yeah.
There's
yeah.
just so much going on.
There's
Like,
a lot.
It's easy.
And it's got to be tough for American creators right now. Like Minnesota's shut down,
yeah.
as it should be.
And like
I'm like, why are we saying go Bills right now? Football should stop. Everything needs to stop.
well, I was at my my in-laws yesterday, and I can't remember. My father-in-law listens to a geopolitical podcast by guys in Brazil, and he's like, they're telling us stuff that like we don't hear on CBC or any of our local stuff that's like actually going on. And he's like, I don't understand if there are like, I think like 1,000 and some odd undocumented immigrants in Minnesota. Why are we focusing on there instead of focusing on the 10,000 that are in Texas? Because Texas is a red state. That's why.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
That's why.
Blue states are targeted, red states are not.
Yeah. And as well, you said something that made me think of something. Oh, I saw this TikTok. So whenever I come across like American MAGA I don't know why my algorithm serves me them. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, test the waters every time I block them. And this woman said, a great halftime show would be if Bad Bunny started playing Was Tackled by Ice and then Creed took over. But
What?
here's a fun fact. Puerto Rico is one of the fucking states.
It's a U.S. territory.
It's a U.S. territory.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. So
Did
what do you even know what you're talking? Like
Right?
the lack of intelligence and nuance that is like, I'm like, he is an American citizen.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
No question.
I heard one of the creators I follow, Don't Cross a Gay Man. Fucking love him. He's awesome.
That sounds like someone I would love.
You would love him. I'll send you his bio. I think it was him who was saying that they are now arresting, ICE is arresting and detaining indigenous people. Like, where do you
this a
think you're
joke?
going to deport them to? They are indigenous to that
Honestly,
land.
where are
Like,
you deporting them to?
Where?
Montana? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just
Salt Lake?
Salt
Like, where are you deporting them to?
right?
Here? Canada? Deport them to Ontario?
We'll take them.
Honestly.
Okay,
we
come
will.
on in.
Come on over.
Fuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
there were like
you and
8
I
of them.
will.
Yes. Yes.
Oops. I pressed the piano.
I love when
I
you do
knew
that.
it was going to make a noise, but it doesn't record on here.
I like when the cat does it.
Yeah, but they can't hear it anytime. I learned that. So there's a keyboard next to me, and when I press it, Amanda and I can hear it, but you guys can't.
It's funny.
It is. Okay, should we set the scene? Oh my God.
Val's a hot mess today.
Holy shit.
I'm enjoying it because usually it's me that's the hot mess.
I had therapy today. EMDR, highly
That's
recommend.
tomorrow.
Or is
That's
it EDMR? No, EDMR is the dance.
That's me tomorrow.
Yes, yeah.
Tomorrow I have all the therapy.
It's good. Therapy's good. Highly recommend. Okay, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, 1A. You saw that 1A? Or are you on 2?
I'm on 1A.
Oh, great.
I'm on 1A.
Great.
Yeah.
So you start.
Oh, all right. Is the A for Amanda?
No, I just had already done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then you
I
added in a part?
And I added in a part. And I
Gotcha,
didn't want
gotcha.
to...
These are our show notes we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about show notes. I don't usually like to let you guys see the mustard while I'm making it, but the mustard while I'm making it.
I love that
That should be a
analogy.
pin.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, the mustard while I'm making it, and it's a microphone.
Ooh.
Or I'm making mustard, and it's a microphone.
But that looks like a mustard bottle. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, Edmonton, Alberta in the 1990s.
Let's talk about it. Let's set the scene.
You know, once upon a time.
But it was real.
But it was real. The 1990s were a period of instability and transition for Edmonton. Alberta experienced economic downturns tied to oil and gas price fluctuations, particularly in the early to mid 1990s.
Feels like not much has changed. I feel like it's probably still.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we had the carbon tax and our gas prices were absolutely insane. And now the carbon tax is gone and they're still
Gas
insane, but
prices are
more.
still insane.
But they're more manageable than they were.
Yeah, I share a car with Kyle, so I can't speak to that.
I mean, I'm the one who puts most of the gas in because I have a small business.
That's right.
I'm a small business owner. So I put the majority of gas into the car because I know I'm going to be filing taxes with that. So
Yeah, Kyle's going to use the car more than me, so
fair.
yeah. Anyway, back to Alberta in the 1990s.
Unemployment rose during parts of the decade, especially among young people and low-income workers.
Just like now.
Yep.
Continue on.
Government austerity measures.
Austerity.
Austerity. Thank you.
Let's pause for a second, Google and define that, so we're just not talking out of our asses here. Austerity refers to a government policy of reducing budget deficits through spending cuts, tax increases, or both, often during economic hardship.
That was a good voice.
But it also means severe simplicity, strictness, or lack of luxuries in personal life, like wartime living or ascetic practices, signifying a stern, plain, or restrained existence.
Wartime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was the 90s.
But these measures were taken under Premier Ralph Klein, led to cuts in social services, including mental health support, housing assistance, and welfare programs.
How is that for the people?
It's
Which
not.
people? Which people?
The rich ones.
The rich
ones
ones,
who don't need it.
Yes, that's right.
That's why they cut it, because they don't need it. It doesn't affect them. So why
That's right.
bother?
That's right.
They can't relate. Doug Ford.
Fucking douche.
Get a job. You were
get a
in
job.
Parliament 51 days last year.
Yeah, you get a
what do you
fucking
mean?
job.
You barely worked. Those cuts disproportionately affected vulnerable populations, including youth, women, and people experiencing trauma or poverty.
So to put that clearly for you folks, someone like me and someone like Amanda. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mental health issues
Mental
at the
health
wazoo.
issues. Listen, we both hit the women mark,
Yep.
the trauma mark, and the poverty mark. Actually, no, it's not fair for me to say I'm living in poverty,
Yeah, same.
but I'm low
But-
income.
Yeah.
Continuing.
Mental health affects us both as well.
Yes, that too.
Yeah. I think it affects everybody, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
There was a therapist that I was saying in relation to COVID and why so many people have emerged with mental health issues and anxiety is because as you're growing and you face turmoilous situations and trauma and panic, like all sorts of stuff that induces anxiety, your brain figures out ways to regulate that and deal with that. And then when you have a situation like COVID, where all of those all of those ways, going for a walk, going and hanging out with friends that you have used to cope with these situations has now been taken away from you. So your brain's going, okay, this isn't working. We're still in panic mode. And because it went on for so long, your brain is trying to rewire and reprogram itself and find new ways to self-regulate. So everybody's in this state of dysregulation and our bodies don't know how to regulate. And that's why everybody has anxiety now.
And now we're all like, yeah.
Everything is bad.
It is.
It is. Sad. Edmonton in the 1990s had a higher violent crime rate than it does today.
Fact.
The city experienced elevated rates of robbery, assault, and homicide compared to decades later. Violent crimes peaked nationally in Canada in the early 1990s, and Edmonton followed that trend.
So when they tell you things are more violent now, they're wrong. It was more violent in the 90s. Okay? We just have more access to information now.
Yes. Yeah.
Please continue on.
No, that was a good point, though, because that's a lot of disinformation.
Yeah. And there's a ton of disinformation. Misinformation, fake news, whatever. Actually, I hate that terminology.
I hate the terminology. I think it's not necessarily intended to be fake. It's misunderstandings.
It's misleading, yeah.
that are taken for fact.
And speculation taken
Yes.
for fact as well,
Yes.
yeah. And people just straight up like doctor stuff, like make stuff up and with Photoshop and shit.
Yeah.
Like, we can make. I can make up text messages right now.
There's AI that is being used to sound like certain people. There was a principal where they made like fake voice memos to make him sound like he was super racist and like discriminatory. And he almost lost his job over it. But it was like another teacher that he had like been like, no, you can't have this program. Like we don't have the funding for it. And he was pissed and wanted like some sort of vengeance to get this guy fired.
Well, I hate that.
Right? Crazy.
Don't use AI for bad.
No.
Use it as a tool for
It
good.
It can help you.
Yes, that's right.
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
Public concerns about crime was intense, with frequent media coverage emphasizing danger, repeated offenders, and perceived failures of the justice system. This climate contributed to strong public support for tough on crime sentencing, including the use of dangerous offender designations.
Now, that's something you're going to hear a lot in this episode. Dangerous offender designation, okay? Just a sidebar.
Just a heads up, that's what this episode is about.
Yes.
If you haven't clued in.
Ooh, it's very creepy.
But it kind of
It
is.
is. It's scary. Yeah.
Law enforcement agencies emphasized crime
You got it. Suppression.
suppression. Thank you. I was getting very
suppression.
sounded like somebody DJ.
Yes, yeah.
Just there. I could not get that word out. My brain was just on.
Yeah.
And deference, with less focus on trauma-informed or rehabilitation approaches. Risk assessment tools, almost did it again there, were less developed than they are today, and courts often relied heavily on psychiatric predictions of future dangerousness, which later research would question. The justice system was shaped by public pressure to prioritize incapacitation.
Incapacitation. So incarceration.
Yeah. Over rehabilitation, particularly in high-profile violent crimes. Mental health care in Alberta during the 1990s was under-resourced.
Just like it is now and today, all throughout Canada and the world.
I mean,
Just saying.
especially at a time when I feel like we need it the most.
Yes. I mean, at least in the 90s, you could buy a house for under $100,000.
Or groceries.
Or groceries.
You know,
You know,
the bare minimum you need to
yeah,
survive and stay stable.
I can't contribute to the complaining about grocery prices content, though. I'm not going to do it.
I
They're
get
bad.
it, and I
They're
don't.
bad.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody's going, look at how much. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Fucking vote.
Please, or write in and say, hey,
Don't know how?
this is-
Write into me. I'll tell you how.
Vala's great at it, actually. Or that's a way you can use ChatGPT for good.
Yes.
Yes, it will help you, and it knows it'll give you addresses. So this under-resourced mental health care was especially for women and youth.
Because they're disproportionately affected.
Yes. We're not white men.
Yeah.
The limited treatment options outside institutional settings, and even fewer gender-specific programs. Trauma-informed care was not yet a standard framework in criminal justice or corrections.
So it was just like beat them, yell at them, and hit them and yell at them.
Throw them in a cell and
Throw away the key.
Yeah. Women with histories of abuse or instability were often criminalized rather than treated, particularly when their behavior became violent. But, we're emotional.
Yeah. Fuck.
Female perpetrated violence was viewed as exceptional and alarming, often framed as more disturbing than comparable crimes committed by men.
Even though crimes committed by men are inherently more violent. Thank you.
And they outnumber the crimes that are committed
Way
by
outnumber.
women.
Way outnumber.
The women committed serious violence when women committed serious violent offenses, cases were frequently treated as anomalies, leading to harsher responses driven by fear rather than precedent. This context helps explain why Lisa Neve's, I said that right?
Yep.
Perfect. Dangerous offender designation stood out so sharply at the time. Local and national media in the 1990s leaned towards sensational crime reporting, especially in cases involving youth or women offenders. Coverage often emphasized danger, unpredictability, and moral panic.
Yeah, because it's like, if the women are losing their minds, whatever will we do?
But we're not allowed to do anything in the States.
No.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have rights.
Yeah.
This is why.
Well, they have to have babies and they have to raise a family.
You're not allowed to work or
Don't work.
be a human being.
Don't worry about paying a bill.
That's our old-timey
Yeah.
white man accent.
And butthole.
Now. But this coverage often shaped public opinion and political responses. Nuanced discussions of trauma, mental illness, and systemic failure were rare in mainstream reporting. Edmonton in the 1990s was a city grappling with economic stress, rising crime rates, reduced social support, and a justice system under pressure to appear tough and divisive. The environment shaped how violent crimes were persecuted, how risk was assessed, and why extraordinary legal tools like the dangerous offender designation. I'm getting all tongue-tied.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I like the support there.
Yes.
Were sometimes applied in cases that later courts would reassess.
So that was Edmonton in the 90s. Okay. So who was Lisa Neve? let's talk
Tell
about
me
it.
about her.
And based on court decisions, so just before I get into it, based on court decisions and CBC's, this is just a little preface, and CBC's August 2018 reporting, there's very little publicly documented information about Lisa Neve's friendships, school achievements, or positive personal traits in the way we often see in other cases. So because, normally I like to include all of that.
Yeah.
But it's just not publicly available. So I don't want to speculate on that because we're doing ethical storytelling. Okay, so who was Lisa Neve in a factual background context? Lisa Neve grew up in Alberta in circumstances later described by the courts as unstable and traumatic. Court findings and reporting describe Neve's childhood as marked by family dysfunction, instability, and exposure to trauma. She experienced frequent disruptions in her living situation and lacked consistent adult support. By her teenage years, Neve was moving through one difficult environment after another, a pattern later referenced by the Alberta Court of Appeal when reassessing her dangerous offender designation. So off the hop, she's having a rough go. So we're feeling some empathy for Lisa Neve.
Very much so.
She has not had a stable place to rest her feet. She's living on cortisol, that girl.
Basically.
She knows nothing but cortisol.
And I want to point out, because when I was doing the research, like this poor woman went through, she really did go through it.
She did.
We just talked about how there was no mental health systems.
Yeah.
Lisa was also Native, so there were even less
supports,
resources available for her.
I was going to say, well, was she Métis, right?
Yes, she was. Yeah. So, and that's still going on today. They have less resources for this stuff than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Fix it. Pay your rent, dossier.
You haven't thrown that one in there in a while.
Because it's on your episodes.
Oh, yeah.
This one we use
because I do talk about
Niagara reproductive justice,
and I talk about the Dene people, and I do quite a bit of Indigenous in this episode of Down the Crooked Path on Tuesday.
Yeah,
lots of Indigenous lore.
Yes,
I like it. I had fun with that one.
Where was I? Okay, education. So public court records and reporting do not document specific academic achievements, areas of excellence in school, or notable extracurricular involvement. There were also no verified public record detailing whether Neve had a large or stable circle of friends, which is really sad.
Yeah.
What is noted by the appeal court is that she entered adulthood with limited social supports and few stabilizing relationships, which is really sad.
I mean, it's hard to have stable relationships when your entire community is in shambles because there's no resources for anyone.
Yes, yeah, you're in the scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
everyone's living on cortisol.
Yeah,
and doesn't have enough, like nutrients and whatnot for brain function.
Yeah, so sad.
So sad.
Broken
and that's
system.
It is broken. And me saying that is like, just don't clip that. That's not the only nor central reason for anything. And I'm not a historian. Okay. In 1999, Okay, so there was a 1999 appeal decision, and it emphasized, and we're going to get into this. This story, it sort of hops around. But so Lisa Neve was named a dangerous offender. Then there's an appeal. So that appeal decision emphasized that Neve was still a young woman in development rather than someone with a long entrenched pattern of violent offending. And the court characterized her trajectory as a response to accumulated trauma rather than evidence of permanent or uncontrollable criminality. At the age of her sentencing, she was 21 years old. And in 1994 is when she would become only the second woman in Canadian history declared a dangerous offender. So that was in 1994. 5 years later, they did the appeal in 1999.
I think in this decade, there were like 350 some odd dangerous offenders, like people who were
They
given
were
that
obsessed with
designation.
it. They were obsessed with it. They're like, dangerous offender, dangerous offender, dangerous
Everyone,
offender.
yeah.
You get a dangerous offender.
And I think that was very disproportionate because that same number was like across the 3 decades prior to the 1990s.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
They were just
Yeah.
like coming down on crime. This is our
doing it.
only solution.
This is the time.
We're not going to bother to check the pond. This is
Fuck
the
the
answer.
pond. Fuck the pond. At sentencing, Neve believed she would spend the rest of her life in prison under the indeterminate sentence imposed. You. Yeah, you. Still haunting the same old fast fashion? Time to dig up something better with Back from the Dead Goods, a Canadian small business where forgotten threads get a second life and sustainability meets spooky. This isn't just upcycled clothing. It's resurrected fashion with an eerie edge. Handpicked, reworked, and revived, every piece is as unique as a ghost story whispered at midnight. And because you're a part of the Canadian Creepies family, you get an exclusive deal. Use code Canadian Creepies at checkout for 10% off. Find them lurking on Instagram, Etsy, and Poshmark. Links are in the episode description. Give your wardrobe a second chance at life, if you dare. Hey creeps, it's Valerie here, and if you're anything like us, you love capturing a moment, whether it's spooky, sweet, or somewhere delightfully in between. Let me introduce you to our go-to for stunning shots, darkroom photography, based right here in the heart of the Niagara region. Mel, the brilliant eye behind the lens, is a lifestyle and creative photographer who brings a little bit of magic and maybe a touch of mystery to every session. She's got all her prices listed right on her website, super transparent, no tricks, and she runs killer seasonal specials around Mother's Day, Halloween, Christmas, and more. I'm telling you, her Halloween sessions, creepy perfection. So, if you're in the Niagara area and looking to capture memories that are hauntingly beautiful, hit up Mel at mel@darkroomphotography.ca or check out her work at www.darkroomphotography.ca. That's Darkroom Photography, where your memories come to life, even in the dark. Looking for your next obsession? The Creators Collective Podcasts is your gateway to the dark, the chilling, and the downright fascinating. We're a community of independent podcasts with one goal: to share the best in true crime, paranormal tales, folklore, and unexplained mysteries. Whether you crave cold cases that won't stay closed, haunted histories that refuse to be forgotten, or stories that make you sleep with the lights on, there's a show waiting for you in the collective. And when you join us, you're not just listening to one podcast. You're stepping into a world of creators who love this stuff as much as you do. Check out the Creators Collective today. Follow the link in our show notes to discover your next favorite podcast. We'll be waiting for you. Let's take a moment during this break to talk about something that matters. Something that doesn't get to be background noise. The Anishinaabe-Moan word, Nikinagana, means we are all related, and we are. But relationship isn't just about words, it's about responsibility. Canadian author Naomi Klein once said, "It is not enough to say that we live on Indigenous land. We have to act as if we do." And one way to do that is by supporting Pay Your Rent, a grassroots mutual aid initiative that offers direct material support to Indigenous organizers across this land. It's not charity, it's rent. For those of us who aren't Indigenous to this place, it's a way to show up differently, to redistribute some of what's been taken. The Pay Your Rent Fund started as a one-time request for help in 2018 and grew into a nonprofit called Nikinagana. Your monthly or one-time donation can help provide food, hygiene supplies, housing support, and resources for Indigenous-led resistance and community care. So if you've ever said, "We're all related," ask yourself, are you being a good relative? Visit payyourrent.ca and find out more about how you can be part of something better. Now, back to this case. I do want to say that there is, again, I just want to reiterate, there is limited public information about Neve's positive traits or personal relationships. And the absence itself reflects how young women in the justice system are often reduced to their worst act rather than fully documented as people.
You can't see, but I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, just a disapproving shake.
Very disapproving
Yeah.
shake. So let's talk about the crime and the conviction here. Lisa Neve was convicted in the early 1990s for her role in a violent robbery that resulted in the death of another woman in Alberta, Edmonton.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
And she was 21 at the time.
And I'm sure it wasn't
I'm sure she wasn't
on
like, hey,
purpose
yeah,
or anything.
yeah.
Like robberies, anything can go wrong.
And they do.
And often.
All the time. That's
So
why
I'm
we
sure
suggest
they weren't.
to not rob
mean-
or burglarize anyone.
You know.
Just a PSA from your friendly Canadian creeps.
Sometimes we're creepy in a good way. We have some good advice, some sage advice. Don't rob. The offense occurred at a commercial establishment in Edmonton. Neve did not act alone. The robbery involved multiple participants. During the course of the robbery, a woman was killed. The death occurred as a result of violence connected to the commission of the robbery.
Oh, okay. So what they're saying is that it wasn't like the violence is connected to the robbery. The violence isn't a standalone event.
Yeah.
Which should not have designated her a dangerous offender.
I'll bring it up again later, but there were other in more detail. I'll bring it up later. But there were, when they were looking at her past record, there were some things that they took into consideration where I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Are you okay?
Like, you looked at that and thought this was...
Hey, applicable. Applies.
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah. Public reporting and court records focused on the fatal outcome of the offense rather than the specific business, so the robbery itself. The roles and criminal responsibility of those involved, and the seriousness of the violence used during the robbery. The case later became centered on sentencing, risk assessment, and the dangerous offenders designation. The name for the establishment is not central or consistently documented element in the appeal decision or later analysis.
That was me trying to find the name of the place that it happened at. Because I was like, did she rob a store?
I looked for it too and couldn't find it.
No. Did she rob a store? Did she rob a mechanic shop? Was it a bakery?
Was it a jewelry store?
Was it a jewelry?
Was it a convenience store?
What was it?
I couldn't find it.
But she robbed something and a woman died.
With several people. She was not
Few
the
of them.
only person
So it was a straight up
involved.
heist.
Yeah. During the investigation, the police investigated the incident as a homicide arising from a robbery. Investigators identified and charged those involved based on evidence linking them to the offense. While the crime involved more than one person, the courts assessed Neve's individual responsibility and risk, rather than treated the offense solely as a collective conduct. So it sounds like they only singled her out.
Yeah, so they like pinned it all, like called her like the mastermind, I guess.
Neve was convicted of robbery with the resulting death, treated as a major aggravating factor. The sentencing judge described the offense as part of escalating violent behavior. An expert psychiatric and risk assessment suggested a high risk of future violent offending.
Oh, so they decided
right out of the gate.
She's okay.
Yeah.
They said young Indigenous woman, she's going to do this again. She's unstable.
She did have 22 previous convictions, but they were like petty theft and prostitution, which
Right.
are not violent.
No.
Yeah.
I would argue that prostitution is the opposite of violence.
I
even.
think sex work is real work.
Sex work is real work, and we're here for it.
And if it's legalized, we would have a lot less problems with the infrastructure.
Less problems with the infrastructure.
Thank you for that. I liked that.
You're welcome.
Little jam. The court concluded that ordinary sentencing options were insufficient, leading to the dangerous offenders designation and an indeterminate sentence. So she was sentenced basically.
You're in, and we're throwing away the key.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I had read was one of the judges actually said to her was, "The sentence carries out until you're dead."
Whoa.
Like,
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, 1990s. Relax.
21.
Relax.
She was 21.
I hate that. Okay. Let's talk about the dangerous offender decision.
Which was bullshit.
Bullshit. The decision to designate Lisa Neve a dangerous offender in 1994 stood out within the Canadian criminal justice system for several key reasons. One of them being her gender. At the time of her designation, Neve was only the second woman in Canadian history to be declared a dangerous offender. And dangerous offender designations were and remain overwhelmingly applied to men, particularly in cases involving long-standing patterns of violent or sexual offending. I mean, are they taking her prostitution and applying it to the context of a man and calling that a sexual offense?
It's not all men, but it's always a man.
Yeah, it's not all men, but it's almost always a man.
Yeah.
Another key reason this stood out is that Neve was only 21 years old at the time of sentencing. Most dangerous offender cases involve individuals who are older with extensive adult criminal records demonstrating persistent and entrenched patterns of violence. And another key reason was her criminal history. Neve had a relatively short criminal record of violence compared to typical dangerous offender cases. You're saying 22? They probably had hundreds, 200.
Yeah.
The designation is most often applied to offenders with lengthy histories of repeat violent or sexual crimes, often spanning many years. And the dangerous offender provisions of the criminal code were designed for individuals assessed and posing a continuing and serious threat to public safety. Robbing and petty theft, those are just like mischievous.
So the one violent...
They say it's unfortunate. It's a misfortune.
And that was because she had no other resources.
Exactly. I mean, if you feed people, they don't have to steal fucking food. I'll tell you that.
The only violent offense that I could find that was listed, and you're going to be angry about this, she was testifying against a very
dealer.
violent pimp. Close. A very violent pimp.
Good for her. Go off, queen.
And then during the cross-examination, the lawyer was basically like, but you're a sex worker, and trying to like debase her because she
her
was a
work.
prostitute.
Yeah.
And that made her very mad.
And triggered.
And she recognized that she was irrationally mad. Like she was more mad than she should have been. So she went to check herself into a mental health facility, went to the hospital, and the doctors were like, why are you here? And she was like, because I want to kill this lawyer and his family. And I recognize these are not normal, rational feelings.
I need help. Please help me.
They called the police and had her arrested for uttering threats.
Isn't it your job as a health professional to you might have to call the police and inform them that this woman is uttering threats, but the police do not have to charge her.
And she's there. She recognized
She's
that
there
wasn't
for
okay.
recognizance.
She's trying to prevent anything from happening. She didn't
my
utter
God.
it to that actual lawyer, and she went to get help. She went to get help.
That's so annoying.
Right?
That's so annoying.
That was the only violent thing that I could find in her criminal record.
and she didn't even do anything.
No, she
God.
went to get help.
I know, because that's what women do. Okay, so historically, dangerous offender designations have been used primarily for repeat sexual offenders, individuals with long records of serious violent offenses, and offenders assessed as having little to no potential for rehabilitation. Neve's designation was therefore unusual not only because of her gender and age, but also because it extended the dangerous offender framework to a young woman with a limited record, placing her outside the profile typically associated with indeterminate sentencing. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. Canadian history at its finest.
All right. The appeal in 1999.
Yeah, so she was arrested in 1994. Mm-hmm. The conviction was in 1994.
So she was incarcerated for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And the actual like robbery itself would have been maybe 3 years. So she was in there for double the time had she not had.
The dangerous offender designation?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bullshit.
It is bullshit.
I bet you it was because she was native.
100%.
Like she was indigenous.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well,
See you later.
feral animal, let's
Yeah.
throw you like.
Yeah. And side note, I was listening to Relentless Indigenous Woman, the podcast. Shout out, Dr. Candace Linklater. And she had a guest on, and they were talking about like how gross white people were. Still are, but like historically, so like Versailles, like how people talk about like, oh, Versailles, it was such a beautiful place. Oh, was it? Because we were just shitting and pissing in corners. Like we were just there was no running water. Like we were just finding a curtain.
Do you know how gross the Thames River was?
Pooping behind it.
Like, it was
gross.
It was all human waste, garbage, like
Awful.
disgusting.
And then it wasn't until we saw indigenous folks perfuming their hair with flowers and bathing in the river that we thought, hey, maybe we should try that. Maybe we should try cleaning ourselves. And then we had the gall to call Native people savages. Like we weren't just shitting in corners in our castles. Like we weren't throwing buckets of shit out into the street in the medieval times.
Yeah,
Watch out! Watch out below!
Duck.
Yeah, here comes this flying shit. My lord.
Right? We were savages.
I'm not religious. Yeah, we were the fucking savages. I'm white.
So these were the legal reversals.
I'm white.
Clip that.
Don't clip it. Don't. You're going to get me in trouble.
I'm joking. Oh. In 1999, following a 15-month review, a panel of 3 Alberta Court of Appeals justice.
You might as well say men. A panel of 3 old white men
Overturned the dangerous offender designation appeal for
There was
Lisa
maybe
Neve.
one woman in there then.
Maybe. And she was like, listen, guys,
She was
let's
like,
be
"Stop."
rational.
George, John.
John. Michael. There might have been a Michael in there somewhere.
Just stop.
Chill. The appeal court conducted that it was not reasonable to apply. You think?
I think it was not reasonable as well.
Not reasonable.
Let's agree on that.
To apply the dangerous offender designation in Neve's case. The justices determined that the original designation did not meet the high legal threshold required for an indeterminate sentencing.
I could see why.
I get it.
Yeah. Totally did not meet those anything.
And the key findings to support this decision was that she had a short criminal record of violence when compared to the typical dangerous offender cases. The court found that her life course reflected a young woman moving through repeated traumatic circumstances rather than evidence of an entrenched and uncontrollable pattern of violent behavior. Bitches gotta do what bitches gotta do.
You know, you're gonna do what you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
With what resources you have. It's human instinct.
Yeah. I don't filter for that at all. At the time of the appeal, Neve had already served 6 years in custody for the robbery conviction. The appeal court noted that comparable robbery cases typically resulted in sentences of approximately 3 years. Hey! Highlighting the disproportionate nature of the punishment imposed. The decision marked a significant shift in how the case was understood, reframing Neve's conduct within the context of youth, trauma, and proportional sentencing rather than permanent dangerousness.
Yeah. Sorry. EMDR makes you sleepy.
I like it.
Hold on. Yeah. She was not permanently dangerous. She was not beyond rehabilitation.
No, at 21,
No.
unless she was out there.
Your brain's not even fully developed at 21. Frontal lobe, that's not till you're 26 or 27. So
And that's for women. For men,
women.
it's longer.
Women.
Scientifically proven.
Men could be till they're 50. Just
Even
kidding.
that's questionable.
Okay, let's talk about the release and public reaction. So following the Alberta Court of Appeal decision, Lisa Neve was released from custody on July 1st, 1999. Go off, Queen. Just days after the dangerous offender designation was overturned.
That was Canada Day, too.
Yeah,
I wonder if that was strategic.
maybe. Neve was 26 years old. It probably was because everybody would have been so caught up in the Canada Day festivities to realize she was being released as well. Neve was 26 years old when she was released, and her release followed the court's finding that the indeterminate sentence was not legally justified and that she had already served significantly more time than comparable cases.
No shit.
Wow. News of Neve's release was met with widespread shock and fear among members of the public.
Well, yeah, because they did such a dirty frame job on her. Like,
Yeah.
this is this dangerous woman.
5 years later, let her out.
Yeah.
Many expressed anger over what was, and also she was probably terrified for her life. Many expressed anger over what was perceived as leniency, particularly given the seriousness of the offense and the fact that a life had been lost. Victims' rights advocates raised concerns about public safety, questioning whether Neve could be safely managed in the community. And there was also...
Managed.
I know, fuck off. And there was also fear of precedent, with critics worrying that overturning the designation could weaken the dangerous offender framework or limit its future use in serious cases. The reaction underscored the tension between judicial oversight and public confidence, especially in cases involving violent crime, early release, and the reassessments of risk.
Everyone's just like, oh no, they let the savage out.
I know, but
Like-
and she's nothing to fear.
Oh, right?
I know. It's like, just give her some fucking counseling. She'll be all right.
Which I feel like needs to be done even in today's court system.
Every single person who goes to jail should have a fucking counselor.
Yeah. Instead, they put them in like a special, I know in St.
In a panicky
Catharines.
situation.
In St. Catharines in particular, there is a Salvation Army place for released convicts.
Yeah.
And it's in the exact same place where they have for like the homeless. So
Yeah.
it's just, they usually go in, a lot of the crimes committed in this area are drug related.
Yeah.
They go into the court system, into the jail system and come out clean. And then they're put in this environment
Where everybody's using.
where everybody is using and
Yeah.
they end up relapsing and then they end up breaking their parole agreements and end up
Conditions, yeah.
going back into prison again.
It's such a sad cycle.
It's like it's fixed. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
How do you get out?
Yeah. And then there's limited resources
Yeah.
still for addiction recovery.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
It is really frustrating.
Zooming out, women's trauma and the federal corrections.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Let's have a little discuss.
And my main source for this was the CBC article because it was the lens I wanted to take on this. Just so that's why that's why we keep referencing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's good to source stuff.
Yeah.
We're not just talking out of our asses.
I'm
here.
not. I'm really not.
Surprise.
Yeah. Tricked you.
Reporting cited by CBC News in 2018 places Lisa Neve's case within the broader pattern affecting women in Canada's federal correctional systems. Nearly 80% of women in federal corrections meet the diagnostic criteria for mental disorders. I think most of them were diagnosed as schizophrenic.
Yeah. It's like they need medication.
Medicate them. That's like, dude.
And not just with like fucking Vicodin.
Yeah.
You know, give them the proper
They don't
medications.
need a lorazepam.
Yeah, I know. They need to. They want to function in society and have friends and family and
Just live life.
believe
like
it or not.
a normal
Everybody,
person.
everybody just wants to fucking have a good meal, work their job, and take care of their family. Like
Yeah. At the
that's
core of it all.
At the core of it all, that's all we all want to do.
Just want to be okay.
Yeah,
Like,
we just want a nice place to sleep at night with people who love us.
that's it. That's not asking for too much. I feel it's
literally
really not.
It's not.
Basic necessities.
Yeah.
Among Indigenous women, the figure rises to over 90%, reflecting the compound impacts of intergenerational trauma, colonial violence, and systemic inequalities. The correctional investigator has repeatedly warned that Canada has no standalone psychiatric treatment facilities for federally incarcerated women.
Not one.
Lack of support.
And it's like that. I feel like that's such an easy.
It's an easy fix.
It's an easy fix.
It's
Just create it. Just do that.
Why did we spend $80,000 a couple years ago on a roundabout when we could have?
Right.
You know,
greater minds than ours should be able to make this happen.
There's a reason the government should be governed by the people, not the other way around.
That's right. That's right.
So we're telling you how
Snaps
we
to
want our
that.
money spent.
Yeah.
Do this. Women with serious mental health needs are rarely transferred to psychiatric hospitals, even when clinical assessments indicate that hospital-based care would be appropriate. Instead, women with complex mental health conditions are often managed within standard correctional institutions, which are not equipped to provide sustained psychiatric treatment.
They're not.
Nope. Prisons are not designated to function as mental health institutions. Their primary purpose is security and containment, not treatment.
Not treatment.
Despite long-standing knowledge of high mental health needs among incarcerated women, significant treatment gaps persist, particularly for trauma-informed, gender-specific, and culturally appropriate care. This context is crucial for understanding how women with histories of trauma and mental illness can become entangled in correctional systems that emphasize control and punishment over treatment, even when clinical needs are clearly identified.
Fuck. That's so
Let's just
frustrating.
ignore the facts.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
do what we want.
this woman would should be treated in a hospital.
Lock her up.
Yeah, no. The case of Lisa Neve highlights enduring tensions with the Canadian justice system. Courts are tasked with protecting the public while also considering whether an offender can be rehabilitated. Neve's case exposed how difficult this balance becomes when violence, youth, and trauma intersect. And the dangerous offender designation is designed to prevent future harm, but its use in this case raised questions about whether it functioned primarily as punishment when other supports were unavailable. Was the dangerous offender designation used to manage risk that the system could not otherwise address, particularly in the absence of adequate mental health treatment options for young women? And what happens when trauma, violence, and insufficient mental health care collide inside a system structured around incarceration rather than treatment? Understanding the context surrounding a crime, including trauma, age, and systemic gaps, is not the same as excusing harm. A life was lost, and the harm caused was real and irreversible. The questions raised by this case are about how justice systems respond to risk, responsibility, and care, not about diminishing accountability.
All right. This case began with the loss of a human life. A woman was killed during a violent crime, and that loss is permanent and irreversible. Her family and loved ones are deeply impacted, and that harm doesn't end with court decisions, appeals, or release dates. The case of Lisa Neve is not only about one woman or one legal outcome. It reflects broader questions about how Canada responds to violent behaviors, particularly when that behavior is intertwined with youth, trauma, and mental illness. It exposes the limits of a system that are often forced to choose between containment and care rather than being equipped to address both. When public safety, treatment, and accountability and prevention all matter, what does justice look like, and who is it truly serving? This case doesn't offer easy answers. It asks listeners to sit with the discomfort, complexity, and the consequences of choices made by individuals and institutions alike.
Should we do the creep of the week?
Let's do the creep of the week.
Okay.
I did read this one
You
where
did read this.
Yes, I didn't read last week, and then I was like, oh wait, I literally just discussed this in the middle of the podcast. But I was curious what you chose this week, and I think this is brilliant.
Oh, okay, great,
Yes.
great. Yeah, because I want to hear from you guys, the listeners. Speakpipe.com/Canadian Creepies. You can also email CanadianCreepiesPodcast@gmail.com. Really want to hear from you guys. I want you to nominate your creeps of the week. I want to hear your hometown haunts. So we went a little contextual with this week's creep of the week.
I dig it. I dig it, though.
This week's creep isn't a person. It's a system. In Canada, the dangerous offender designation is meant to be used sparingly, except for in the 1990s when it was used 350 times.
They were just like, here you go.
Here you go.
You get a
Everybody,
designation. You get a designation.
You're a dangerous offender. You're a dangerous offender. It's reserved for individuals deemed so high risk that ordinary sentencing is considered inadequate to protect the public. So like Robert Picton would have been a dangerous offender. Clifford Olson, dangerous offender. I
was going to say Carla Homolka.
Carla Homolka, dangerous offender. Paul Bernardo, dangerous offender. Yeah. When applied, it allows for an indeterminate sentence, meaning there's no fixed release date. In theory, it's a safeguard. In practice, especially in the 1990s, it became something else. At that time, dangerous offender rulings relied heavily on psychiatric predictions of future violence. What'd they think it was? Fucking Minority Report?
Well, and in this particular case, in Lisa's case, it was only one psychiatrist who came forward and was like, she's never going to be rehabilitated. And they were like, we'll take your word for it.
You must be correct. Assessments that could label someone dangerous, not just for what they had done, but for what experts believed they might do one day. These predictions were often made in a system with limited mental health treatment options, particularly for women. So a bunch of men were predicting what a bunch of women would do. A bunch of white men. This designation was overwhelmingly applied to men, usually repeat sexual or violent offenders with long criminal histories. When it was extended to young women, especially those with histories of trauma, it exposed a system struggling to manage risk without the tools to offer care. What makes it truly creepy is this. When treatment doesn't exist, punishment becomes prevention by default. A legal mechanism designed as a last resort quietly becomes a way to contain fear indefinitely. This week's creep isn't a monster hiding in the dark. It's a designation powerful enough to erase futures, even when the system itself admits it has nowhere else to turn.
Bum, bum, bum.
This was Canadian Creepies.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
We hope you enjoyed the show. It was a good show. It is snowing outside in southern Ontario. They can't hear the piano.
They can't hear the piano.
Okay, so you can follow me, Canadian Creepies, on Instagram, on TikTok and Facebook. It's Radio Valerie, and you can subscribe to the YouTube Radio Valerie.
And you can find me at Down the Crooked Path on TikTok, Instagram. You can find us both on YouTube.
Yep.
And Facebook as well.
And we want to hear from you. Speakpipe.com/Canadian Creepies. Record me a message and you could be played on the show.
Valerie and Kyle really do go through and read everything you guys send. So,
we do.
Yeah.
We do. All right. Don't let the bed creeps bite.
Creep you later.